Hey guys, little quick mail call video. Why do I ever say quick video, right? They rarely ever happen that way. It's a mail call video. We'll go over the stuff kind of quickly. And then if something sparks your interest, then hang on and we'll get to it in a little bit more detail perhaps. I do tend to talk a little bit about the items, but these are things that I've gotten recently in a mail call, and just wanted to put these out there. I love the discussions that come a lot of the times with some of these products, because if they're new to me, they may not necessarily be new to you. As a matter of fact, some of these are recommendations from viewers and people I've met online, that sort of thing. So let's take a look and kind of scream right through the gear first so that you can know what's on here. We've got this. I assume that it's called Lee. It's from the Europe. It's from Europe, and it is a shaving cream. I've never tried a Lee brand before. A brand that I do like a lot is Saponificio Varesino, and the Cubebe scent is here, and this is the bath soap. We've got other soaps. Proraso. I get down on this guy a lot. See, now I keep going into details, right? You know what this is? This is the super formula. I had to buy it because it's a super formula. I get down on it a lot for if you purchase it at American prices. It's just not worth that much. But at European prices, it's very nice. More soap. We have two more soaps. I have never tried this brand before, but it's Connaught Shaving, Antica Barberia. And this is the original citrus scent. And this is one of Connaught Shaving's sample tubs. Look forward to trying that one. And the last, I believe, soap that I have is, I'm a big fan of Cella in the red and more standard puck or bowl and tub. And this is the Cella Bio. And it is the organic soap that they offer. So I'm looking forward to trying that to see if it differs and how it differs. That's all the software. I have never ordered a brush from Zenith right from the factory or right from a retailer. My other Zenith brushes were purchased used. So this is a first in that regard. It came in a Zenith box just like this. These are the details on this particular one. This is the 507N XS. And this is my first horse brush. My second horse brush. This potentially might be the first one I might like to use. Towel down. This is the extra soft. That's what that XS is for. The first one I ever tried was years ago, and it was a V-long brush. The loft was crazy high. It was all you could do was painting strokes, and they weren't soft. It was so prickly, just horrible on all aspects. So I sold that to somebody who was more environmentally conscious about their usage of horse brushes than they were about the comfort of their shave. And so now I got this from Your Shaving. We'll go into this a little bit more, but look, it kind of got beat up on the way. It was not packaged all that well. And then the last thing from Connaught Shaving, I have this base plate, and this is not new to, you got a little bit of shipping powder residue. This is the GENTILE plate in the black chrome. And this is not new to my channel. I've used this plate on the standard Fatips, whether it be the Grande handle or the PICCOLO handle. But my intention was that this would replace that gold plate that came with my special edition that has the gold base plate and the rest of it's black. And so I thought they would look better. Although I am using the standard chrome base plate with the black, I think that looks nice as well. But I was already placing an order with Connaught Shaving, and that's just, I don't know, $6 or $7. And so I thought, yeah, let's do it. Okay. And Connaught was nice and sent me a pack of blades. Very nice of them, for free. lot of people do that. The Your Shaving also sent me a pack of blades. I could have mixed up the two blades. I mean, it doesn't really matter who sent me which one, but you know, that could have been flip-flopped. So the horse brush here, and it does feel pretty soft on the top. Sorry, I've got a little bit of hiccup there. It does feel pretty soft on the tips, but it does feel like it has a good bit of springiness and backbone there. It's requiring a little bit of force to bend them that way. I have, and more details on that later. The last item that I haven't told you about yet is oh no, we've got two more items. This is branded as the EPSILON brush case. So we'll be looking at that in a little bit more detail later, although this is pretty much all you need to know. And then the last thing is the Il Piccolo Storto Chrome from Fatip. And as I remove that band and then open the lid, I tell you what, the boxes for these Fatip razors are really pretty decent, but they always end up in a wreck because look at the tearing in there. These were not boxes that were meant to be shipped. They were boxes that were meant to be stacked nicely in a store somewhere and then given to people because the weight of the razor always overcomes this cardboard slot back here in shipping. It always happens. So if I ever buy one of these from a store and I have a nice background there that's not ripped up, I'll tell you what, I'm going to piecemeal it and wrap the razor separately so that everything gets there in a good way. So this is, I've got a zillion Fatip razors because they're decent, they're great quality in terms of the shave you get. They're fairly inexpensive for what you get. You've got a brass razor that's coated in chrome here. And this one is different because you can see a slight slant to the ridging on this handle. This is the Piccolo handle, but it's the slant version of the Piccolo handle. And it's a solid handle. The Grande handle is hollow. And so this one actually feels a little bit more strong. And then this is the Slant. I have been using, a month or two ago, I did a bunch of shaves using the Slant with the closed comb. This is the Slant with the open comb. On the site, it just called it the Original. Now they put an E at the end of it, and this is an English website, so Originale, or maybe with Fatip, maybe they call this the Original, the Originale. Baseplate. Maybe they don't call it the open comb baseplate like we do. But this is the open comb version of the Slant. I have heard that it is a better cutter than the closed comb version. The closed comb version is not really cutting me very closely. It's very comfortable. I'm enjoying the shaves. It's just not all that close. And so we're going to try the open comb. And in addition to that, I now have another handle because Fatips are not threaded the same way as many other razors. Most are different than the Fatip. And so if I like this handle and I don't end up liking the head, maybe I'll swap this handle out for one of the other heads, one of the more the non-slant heads. So here we go. The Il Storto, and this is the open comb with the Piccolo handle. All right. So that's a little bit more. I went into, since that was the last item, I went into detail about that item. And so now let's kind of go backwards-ish and talk about the gear. Now this was on Your Shaving's website as the EPSILON brush case. It was only $6, something like that. So I bought 3 because I was paying for shipping anyway. I may have gotten a deal. Maybe I paid less than $6, but the money that's in my head is $6. It may be 3. Now, since it's not labeled anywhere as EPSILON, could you maybe find this somewhere else? Because surely EPSILON is not the only people making this, right? Probably some Chinese maker that's putting these together and EPSILON is reselling them. And so it's possible with some digging you might be able to find, maybe on AliExpress or Yaki or something like that, the maker. Now, How does it feel? That's a question with a lot of these plastic type items. Is it really flimsy? You know, that sort of thing. Now, this obviously it comes in 2 pieces, and it does have some give, but I'm having to squeeze a good bit, and so it feels like it's going to protect the brush nicely during travel. It does have a hole there, and then of course a little bit of air can come through the threading for ventilation, and that's good because even though we always try when we're traveling to pack away our brushes, as dry as we can, a little bit of moisture can get in there, and so you can point your brush end up toward the bristle end up toward the hole. And of course you could add more holes somewhere if you wanted to. Obviously, because this sleeve here overlaps the outer sleeve everywhere except up here, adding more holes may only be beneficial up there. That's your call. Now, you can see the tilting of this threading, and it's quite aggressive, and that's because you don't want to sit here forever unscrewing this. And so if I actually kind of do my hands so I can get a maximum twist, I can get it all out in one shot. So to me, that's nice, that's decent. And in a couple of turns, with smaller turns, it's all, and then what's nice about this system is it's not going to become unscrewed. Even if I press on it, it doesn't go down. Now it does, see, now if I do it over and over, it does gradually go down a little bit, so maybe vibrations or something could affect it. But they designed it that way on purpose so that if you have a brush that's taller than the sleeve, you don't have to screw it down all the way like that. And there we go. And so this can be packed away. Now if you've got a long way to go, you think there might be a lot of vibration or something in the travel, why not take some Scotch tape and just wrap it around it? That way you know it's not going to get smaller and squish your bristles, you know, and I don't think you'd really have a problem with it opening up. But there you go. And so if you have a longer brush, then you're fine. I believe that when you start getting to the 28 and 30 millimeter brushes, that's when you might be concerned that this might not fit your brush. I'll try to remember to put the, just look it up on yourshaving.com or just look up EPSILON brush travel case and you can get the dimensions yourself and then make sure that it's right. And what I may do is on the description of the video, I'll try, remind me if I don't, I'll put the inner diameter, because that's really what's most important right here. The outer diameter doesn't matter too much. And then it's a hex shape down here to give you good grip as you're manipulating everything. And so as far as the build quality, I feel like it's about perfect. This is pretty firm. When this bottom sleeve as well, this one had a little bit more give because it's got more diameter, but it's really quite reasonably substantial. It's also very lightweight, of course, and so I think it'll be just perfect for traveling. Light and strong seems to be. It feels and looks maybe a little cheap, but I think in practice it might just be perfect. And so there we go. There we go. I like it a lot. Who knows whether I will migrate all of my brush things to that shape, that style or not. It's clear so you can see what brush is inside. I have often used this orange pill container from the pharmacy, and it's even stronger than this kind. And of course it's got a locking lid, which may be nice if you have kids that might like to play with your stuff, but it's a little harder to see what brush is being used, especially if you haven't bothered to scrape away the label on that kind of side. I'm going to also make a video here in this same session, but separately. It'll be a separate upload showing some of the different brush containers that I've used now that I've added another one to my collection. So when not in use, just takes a couple of screws there and it's back. And I bought a total of 3 of those. because I really think the more I'm traveling a lot, and I think I'm going to use that. Matter of fact, let me throw my, oh, you know what? The next shave I do here in just a few minutes, it'll be a separate video, is going to be using this horse brush. So you know what? I'm going to get it soaking, and I may do 4 videos right here. I may do a test lather video with with Williams mug to clean the knot, which is what I usually do before I use it. A little test lather, then I'll use it for the real shave. So this may be a high video production day. Okay, as we resume cycling back through to maybe see if there's any more detail to provide on these items, we're looking at the Il Storto Slant from Fatip. And so obviously from Fatip, if you have studied very much on that brand, there are a reasonable number of people out there who get razors with some QC issues. And I'm not having any problem with the pin alignment here. And so that's good. We'll obviously have to see how precise it is once we get the blade on there. With this arrangement, often this head doesn't precisely put the blade in the same spot every time. And so sometimes you have to do a little bit of alignment with their heads. I like the feel, I like the grip on this. These ridges here are smoothed out just a little bit. If you're used to the normal PICCOLO grip, the one that I've got 2 actually. I've got the black one and I've got the chrome. And both of them, it's a little more sharp. It's not sharp, but it's just not smoothed out like this one is. And so this one is, I like the feel of it. So we'll just have to see how it feels when it gets wet. But I'm looking forward to trying this. This may be the razor that I use next. And oh yeah, and we of course don't need to really talk too much about the black base plate, the extra base plate. I tried to order the open comb in the black as well, but they didn't have it in stock. So Your Shaving sent me this, and they were all kind of shrunk wrapped like this. And they were inside, this is the Zenith brush, the horse brush was in here. And it must have been maybe something, I don't know. But they were shrunk wrapped together, then they were bubble wrapped, and then they were put inside of one of those mailers. That is the paper envelope on the outside with kind of a built-in bubble wrap on the inside. And so there was lots of bubble wrap around this. But as you know, those mailers, they're not like boxes, and so they don't protect against crushing. And so I believe that's what happened. And so it definitely looks like the box was mistreated. And while I usually don't care about the boxes, and so to me, it's not really a big deal. However, I would probably care a little bit if I was going to resell this brush. And I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. Don't know if I'm going to need to resell it. And so that's a little discouraging that they would send something that way without the protection that it really needs. It also took quite a while to get to me, but I don't know, that could have been justified because of COVID. It could have been justified because maybe they're over in Spain. Who knows exactly? Oh, I think that's right. I think it did have to cross the ocean because we don't have a whole lot of Zenith distributors here in America. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was an international shipment, in which case that type of delay is entirely justifiable. However, if I was going to ship something international, I wouldn't do it in a paper mailer, even if it was wrapped 3 times in bubble wrap, because it did have, as we saw, receive some damage that did get to the product. So with the Connaught Shaving, they produce their samples, 100 milliliter samples, in 3.38 fluid ounces, if you're curious about that. And it is fairly soft. This Antica Barberia Mondial is the name also there as well. So that may be the company, maybe Antica Barberia is the line. This is original citrus. It's made in Italy, and it is specified as a cream. It has a very light citrus scent. It is fairly easy to press and compress with my fingers. So it does look like a true cream. We'll see how it performs in the future here. the Cella, they made a organic soap. Now, Connaught Shaving, they're international as well, but their stuff arrived in a box with tons of, you see this residue I'm having to wipe away? That's from those shipping peanuts. They also used paper above and below, so their packaging is far superior to your shaving in this instance. So they've got the story. Is this anything different than the normal Cella story? This does not look anything new, so I'm not going to bother reading it to you. It does have maybe some certified organic type logos there. So we will have fun checking to see how this rates. Buying it from Connaught Shaving was a pretty low cost. It's got a very, very light scent, almost maybe like a masculine aquatic cologne, but it's very, very small, very low strength. We'll see if they sacrificed any performance by going organic. Ingredients. Does the box have some ingredients? Yes. Water's the first, then stearic acid, cocos nucifera, coconut oil, potassium hydroxide, glycerin, myristic acid, sodium hydroxide, potassium carbonate, aloe leaf extract, oil, olive fruit oil, bamboo leaf stem extract, bisabolol, and fragrance. It does have the 12M, so officially, once you open it, you are supposed to use it all within 12 months is to receive the best quality of the product. The instructions say when the brush wet the brush with hot water and mix the cream with circular movements to obtain a soft, firm foam. Spread the lather on your face and shave. Cella Milano.it for Italy. So yeah, organic. I didn't notice any tallow. I think the original Cella has tallow. And again, here's those packing peanuts getting stuff everywhere, but everything arrived in pristine condition. Proraso, and this is the red, the sandalwood, and I have long, ever since my earliest days of wet shaving. Because this was mentioned so many times in reviews, I went ahead and bought some from Amazon years ago. From Connaught, I was able to buy the relatively new Super Formula. It says Super Formula at the very bottom, and that is how you can tell. It looks very similar to a new bowl of the normal. That same wonderful sandalwood scent. I've heard that the Super Formula is helping the Proraso to compete at a higher level than it used to. It's an okay formulation. I kind of rate it along the lines of for me, it's just not as high a performance as a good many good soaps out there. Put that back here. Recently on my channel, I've mentioned my questions about Cubebe from Saponificio Varesino, and I've shown you guys a pack of the aftershaves, glycerin and alcohol based aftershaves, and they're the samples, little envelopes you have to tear open and use up. And I bought that at a nice price that somebody recommended online. I got it, and that was my first smell of the Cubebe scent, and I liked it a lot. But it wasn't super unique. It wasn't super different. It was just kind of a pleasant cologne, kind of a light, but very wearable. There are definitely some smells in my shaving world that I like so much, but I don't want to smell them for 10 hours. And some of these Saponificio Varesino samples that I've been trying out with the aftershaves, are some that I would wear. They're just not all that special. Most of them aren't. They're just kind of a cologne scent with certain tweaks and stuff, but they're very kind of tame, safe. And so when you combine that with what's probably an expensive price, then that starts to be something where I'll stick with my Sterling and whatever aftershaves I end up getting just as a result of getting good prices on stuff. And so with ordering that sample, I was able to smell the Cubebe. And maybe at the same time, I also ordered this as a bath soap. This is what the bath soaps look like. And they come in this plastic sleeve. The scent is very nice right now, very strong. It is a round looking puck, and it is a vegetarian, vegan type product. And it says bath soap right here. It could be that I enjoy this more than the aftershave. Tell you what, the Saponificio Varesino aftershaves, some of them I'm smelling on myself 10 hours later. So I'm very happy with the performance in terms of what it does to my face. It makes my face feel good. It's not super moisturizing, but for me, I don't need that. The scent is nice and lasts a long time. So I'm guessing we're paying higher prices for some really nice ingredients. And this is the bath soap, kind of a cream color. I'll be able to try that out. Now it's a different shape, and so I'm going to have to find a different way to store this soap. I can't just put it in my rectangle shaped soap containers like most bar soaps are. The scent, again, very pleasant. Cubebe, yeah, just kind of fresh, pleasant, kind of middle of the road. It doesn't really have any leanings toward like a leather, or it's not feminine in the floral area. It might have an aquatic nature to it, but I don't think it's in the aquatics. Just kind of fresh and clean and nice, you know? So I'm looking forward to having that scent during my showers. And this is a way, because I think the retail Saponificio Varesino tubs of soap are close to $30. This was more like $6. And so it's a way to try out the scent without spending as much money. And even if you don't like it all that much, you're probably going to like it enough to enjoy it during the bath. And so you're going to get your money back in that regard. So I think somebody else passed on that trick to me, and I'm very glad to be using and putting that technique into place. The Lee brand, of course, it could be pronounced Leah, 1823. Could they be making shaving products for that long? Sure, why not? And so this was recommended to me by someone online, and it was so long ago that I don't remember the name, but I made a note of it. Wouldn't it be great if that person was watching? It would have been in a YouTube comment. Maybe I was talking about some other products, maybe purchased through Connaught, maybe some like the Palmolive cream, which is so easily obtained over in Europe. Maybe one of those products that I was using that was European, who knows. But they mentioned that this specific one, I wrote down, I had it on my to-do list for a couple of years. And I was just waiting for my next Connaught order to happen. And then I just finally got around to putting it on there. It does say sensitive skin. It does say it's a shaving cream. Right there it says with brush. Use it with a brush. Dermatologically tested. It's huge, as you can see. My bowl here is like 150 milliliters in diameter, 150 millimeters in diameter. So it's big. This is 250 grams of cream, and it just cost a few bucks. It was not very expensive. And the specific one with the big letters and the blue up here was the one that I was pointed to. And so I'm sure the other ones are okay, but this one was specifically mentioned as a better one to try. Maybe it's one that a lot of the barbers are favorites with. Who knows? It just says apply with a wet brush and work up a lather. Aqua, palmitic acid, stearic acid, potassium hydroxide, glycerin, lauric acid, myristic acid, sodium hydroxide, parfum, allantonin, lactic acid, oleic acid, hydroxyacetophenone, linoleic acid, limonene, linalool. Avoid contact with eyes. Productos Lea is the website. Oh, look. It's maybe one of my first products with Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest icons on there. How about that? So they're trying to keep up with popular culture. All right, so we'll give this a shot. It has a nice scent that seems fairly standard for the barber community, for the shaving community. Just kind of a powdery, soapy type scent. And so I tell you what, I've had great luck with some of the creams coming from Europe. That Palmolive cream, awesome. Anything else? I think that has covered just going through things with more detail. Here's my horse brush. Here's soaking in the water. Something about the horse that I've heard is that the tips do break in. Like a boar brush, you work it and the tips do soften up. I'm going to move my box out of the way so that I can kind of work with the brush without dripping on my cardboard box. I'm curious, like a boar, if after this has been soaked, does it feel different? I'm going to squeeze a little bit of the water out. Ah, look at that. It doesn't spring back to shape. It's got a little bit of a lag to it there. So the water obviously is making it do that. With longer bristles, I understand with my research into horse brushes that you do need to comb them and make sure it doesn't tangle up, because they just behave differently than badger and boar bristles. They have a lot more flop to them. I don't believe that was really a complaint with this particular brush. I figured if I was going to like a horse, then this might be the one, after all my research, that would be one that I might like, because it's the extra soft grade that Zenith has. I don't want scritchy if I'm going to have a brush. And so we'll see what happens, and we'll put him through some uses. And eventually, I've got so many brushes, right? That we can eventually see if we can get these tips to soften up. I don't know if they split like the boar bristles do. So we will work this up into a lather as a test lather here next. And I believe I've shown you. That's my stuff. That stuff, it was just kind of I wanted to do a Connaught order, and I had a bunch of things on my list to try. One or two of these items were on a pretty good deal, pretty good sale. And so I jumped on it. And then I just tacked on a few extras that I'd been waiting on for a while. So we'll look forward. I'm definitely looking forward to trying out some of these things in the future weeks. I've got 3.5 days of growth that I'll be shaving off. How about that? That's coming in the future here. All right, you guys, take care. Hope you enjoyed seeing some new stuff. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves.